People, here we go. Here we go. This is what I'm going to do. I just want you to take a look at this. Just take a look at this for yourself. Take a look at this for yourself. This is the Magnetos pause, May 15, 2024 on this Gregorian calendar. Look at this. Earth is in the middle. The white side is the daytime side, which means the sun is over here. The black half is the nighttime side. Y'all already know these two objects right here on this orbital track. These are satellites that monitors solar radiation only. That's Gold 16 and Gold 18 satellite. Look at the pressure on the Magnetos pulse, the dome that is supposedly to protect us from ultra UV light, gamma radiation, solar radiation, dark matter, cosmic particles. Look at the pressure that's on the dome. And then there is a double impact on top of that. Look at that. And then when you look at the nighttime side of the planet over here, look at the energy. There's no dome protecting the nighttime side. Look at the energy. Earth is enveloped with highly charged particles on this planet. The atoms in all microcosmic organisms is open up like a lotus flower, and it is being exposed to UVC radiation, which is a detoxifier, a germ killer, and a mutating wavelength. This year, you will see that those that have problems, those that are complex cell organisms, will avoid the sun at all cost. It can be 40 degrees outside, but if it's no clouds and it's sunny, it can even be cloudy now, because you are being heated up like a microwave dinner from the inside out. Look at the arrows. Earth is in the middle. This is solar velocity 1. May 15, 2024 on this Gregorian calendar. Earth is in the middle. The sun is over here. These arrows represent solar wind. The solar speed reached up to 556 kilometers per second. So that's the highest it reached. That's how fast the solar radiation and gamma radiation, UV light, whatever you want to, ultraviolet light, whatever you want to call it, coming from space. And look at how it presses up against the dome. Look at how it presses against the dome. It squeezes it down. And then the backside, whatever's on the night side, pushes the dome back open like an umbrella. The front side presses it down because the dome is being stripped away. Each blast is taking a layer away from the magnetic field. Each blast that's coming from the sun is stripping away from the dome. And look at how it's pressed down in the daytime, on the daytime side, and then opens back up on the nighttime side. These arrows pushing back in. These arrows represent solar wind. Pause. Here we go, my people. Look at this. 5 X flares within 24 to 32 hours. These are X flares. I told you already that C flare shit is dead. That's gone. Even though we still might get some C flares, like if you can see right here, C flares, but you're getting strong C flares. These are strong C flares. See this right here? This is strong C flares. But this right here, that's X flares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 X flares in 24 to 32 hours. X flares. Do you know what this is doing? Again, this is keeping the atom open like a lotus flower, as UVC radiation, which is a detoxifier, a germ killer, and a mutating wavelength, is changing the atom. So which in turn is going to change the DNA, which in turn is going to change the phenotype of that individual. No matter what it is, that organism will not look the same. What are we reducing into? What are we changing into? Paul. Here we go right here, my people. This is what I'm talking about when I say what are we changing into, in the fact that our cells with these ionizing charged particles, what they're doing is keeping the atom exposed. It's opening up. So, and these are protons, which are masculine energy. This is protons, masculine energy. And when you see this energy in the south and the north pole right here, These energy is telling you that the planet is still absorbing. I mean, you are still absorbing ionizing particles. You're still absorbing this. So there hasn't been a break, which means it's like a wound that's constantly open. It's not closing. The wound is not closing. It's constantly being open. And this is what's happening. You're getting cut in the same spot over and over and over and over. Eventually, something has to take place. Something, look at that. That's over Africa, over Europe. That right there, blast over Africa, over Europe, over the northern part of Africa, southern part of Europe. That right there is coming off the West Coast, heading over towards the United States. You see this over here? You see this gauge right here? You see this? This is the proton flux. You see that right there? Masculine charge, masculine energy. Look at that. That's over America. We are constantly getting hit. Look for this summer, my people. They're already telling you viruses and diseases. They already telling you, because this right here is going to have a direct effect on your lymphatic system, aka your immune system. It's going to have a residual effect also on your lymphatic system, the immune system for the brain that pushes out the waste in the brain. I'm telling you, you're going to see characteristics and features in people going forward that you didn't think you were going to see. I done told you this. I done gave you a warning. This is what it is. This is a message. This ain't no warning. This is just a message, my people. It's a reminder. That's all it is. It's up to you if you want to take heed to it or not. But in my humble opinion, I strongly believe after this alignment at the end of October, when Earth is pulled in between those four gas giants, I believe shit is going to definitely start to hit the fan at its maximum peak on this planet. Abundance and gratitude. No, hold on, Paul. And this is the last thing that I want to show my people, because listen, as I start over here, I'm gonna move it forward and I'm gonna pause it. So we're gonna move it forward just all the way to the end. I want you to look at these sunspots. Where did I tell you that these sunspots was going to start to come towards? What? The equator. The equator. I told you that, Paul. Where did I tell you that these sunspots was going to be at, huh? Near the what? Equator. They're going to come towards the equator. They're going to come from up here and up here, and they're going to get closer to the equator, because all the planets supposedly are lined up at the equator of the sun. And then I want you to look at these sunspots. First of all, there you go, the date right there. See the date right there? 5/15/2024, Paul. All right, so you seen the date, right? There you go. And look at all of the, first of all, let's not even go over there. Let's look at this side. This here is turning towards Earth. These up here are turning, look at this, turning towards Earth as I am doing this video right now. These sunspots, look at this. They're not going to do nothing but get bigger. These are letting off M flares, strong M flares, and X flares. This is all that's happening. And the same sunspots that came and was releasing, that started off this shit from the very beginning, was letting off M flares and X flares from the beginning, the real strong ones. They're on their way back around to Earth, just so that you know. This is the other side. They're on their way back around. So right after these cluster right here, right after this, you see this, and up here, right after these clusters right there, when this planet turn all the way around, when the sun turn all the way around even more, we right back where we were a couple of days ago, back to those major sunspots that are going to let out X flare. And that X flare that they said was an X10, X8 flare, people, that really was off the scale, just so that you know. They keep talking about the Carrington event. Here's the difference between now and the Carrington event. The Carrington event was one big X flare that let off, that shut the electrical grid down. Here's the problem with this. This is a accumulation of coronal mass ejections on the daytime side as well on the nighttime side of the planet. These coronal mass ejections are taking away the magnetic field. And when we get another Carrington event, that is going to be a gazillion times stronger. When we get that event that's next, it's going to be a gazillion times stronger than the Carrington event, because we are consistently getting this. Everything that's happening now didn't back when the Carrington event was going on. Things that are happening right now didn't lead up to the Carrington event. The Carrington event came out of nowhere. Even though they knew they was in a solar cycle at that time and the sun could potentially let off solar flares, that was they were caught totally and completely off guard with that solar flare. This here, they're not going to be completely totally cut off guard, because they see nighttime, daytime side, and objects are in the sky that are emitting solar radiation. Abundance and gratitude to you all. Do what you want with it. But again, the main thing that we all should be focusing on, the sun and genetics. And when you focus on the sun and genetics, it shows you who you are and it shows you who your enemy truly is. And 9 times out of 10, the enemy lies within. And then you will see that there is just another group of species on this planet that created a group of species that really value, admire you, and want to travel throughout the solar system the way that you do, but they can't. And they are upset. But we genetically created them that way. So they could be deep in their root chakra with intelligence and put us through this great ultimate universal test. Abundance and gratitude to you all. Have an amazing day.